All right, let's dive right in. We're looking today at how the hidden design of our homes drastically impacts the physical and emotional well-being of the elderly. We so often think about aging purely in medical terms, right? Doctor visits, daily medications, physical therapy. But what if the very architecture of where we live is silently dictating our health and happiness? In this explainer, we're going to explore the concept of aging in place, and specifically how we can completely transform the most critical room in the house, the bedroom, into a true sanctuary of safety, dignity, and independence. Now, I know that sounds like a totally random question. How does bed height equal mental health? But the answer actually unlocks a major sociological finding. Research reveals a massive link between physical independence, loneliness, and overall life satisfaction. Think about it. When an older adult struggles with a physical barrier in their own home, like a bed that's just way too low to get out of easily, their independence takes a direct hit. They suddenly have to rely on others for basic daily tasks, and that loss of autonomy directly drives up feelings of social and emotional loneliness, which absolutely tanks their life satisfaction. So designing a room isn't just about making it look nice. It is literally about preserving a person's psychological health. Let's start by looking at Section 1, the visual and physical shift. You see, to really design for aging in place, we first have to understand the physical realities of the aging body. We absolutely cannot design for an 80-year-old using the sensory baseline of a 30-year-old. This quote hits the nail on the head. As we age, the clear fluid inside our eye lens actually thickens, hardens, and turns a yellowish hue. It is literally like walking around your house wearing amber-colored sunglasses indoors. Because of this, older adults really struggle to pick up subtle pastel colors. Cool blues and greens just kind of fade away. Plus, an aging eye requires significantly more light to process the exact same image as a younger eye. So what does this mean for us? It means we have to rethink our lighting and color palettes from the ground up, creating drastically brighter environments so seniors can navigate safely. And it's not just about color and light. Depth perception also takes a serious hit. Figuring out exactly where a floor ends and a wall begins, or where a stair drops off, becomes incredibly difficult. Because of this, using high contrasting colors is absolutely crucial for safety. For example, if the floor is light, the baseboards need to be dark. But there's a huge warning from the research here. While contrast is great, heavily patterned rugs or carpets with sharp, dark geometric designs are a terrible idea. To a visually impaired senior, those dark patterns can actually look like holes or sudden drops in the floor. That causes hesitation, loss of balance, and eventually, devastating falls. Moving on to Section 2, optimizing the safe bedroom. So, how do we take those biological facts we just talked about and apply them to the most vulnerable room in the house? The bedroom is where we start and end every single day, and for an older adult, it has to be a fortress of safety. The magic number you need to remember here is 45 to 50 centimeters. That is exactly how high an elderly person's bed should be from the floor. Why so specific? Well, a bed that's too low requires immense core and leg strength to stand up from. But a bed that's too high? That's a major fall risk. This 45 to 50 centimeter sweet spot perfectly matches the biomechanics of an aging body trying to stand up. And even better, it perfectly matches the standard seat height of a wheelchair, which means you get seamless horizontal transfers from the bed to the chair with zero unnecessary lifting or straining. But hey, bed height is only part of the equation here. Once they're actually in bed, the environment needs to empower them. Imagine a senior waking up feeling dizzy or having a sudden health issue. They absolutely must have immediate access to communication, lighting, and emergency alarms without having to stand up or awkwardly stretch. Electrical light switches need to be right there at the headboard. A sturdy telephone belongs right on the nightstand, and an emergency call bell or a pull rope has to be easily within reach. The ultimate goal here is total environmental control, straight from a resting position. Now, space is a huge factor too. When you look at an optimized layout like this one, you see how it perfectly accommodates mobility aids. A super common mistake in standard home design is just packing the bedroom with too much furniture. But the research is clear. You need a minimum 150 centimeter circular maneuvering space at both the side and the foot of the bed. Why? Because that 150 centimeter radius is the exact clearance a standard wheelchair needs to make a full 360-degree turn. Without it, a wheelchair user literally becomes trapped in their own bedroom, forced to make dangerous tight maneuvers just to get around. And for older adults with severe mobility limitations, those who might be largely bedbound, we have to look to the ceiling. Installing ceiling-mounted transfer rails is an incredible architectural integration. It allows the caregiver to safely harness the individual and literally slide them right from the bed, along the rail, and straight into the adjacent bathroom or onto a commode. This isn't just about logistics. It deeply preserves the dignity of the individual while protecting the caregiver from severe career-ending back injuries. All right, let's head into Section 3, Navigating the Night Safely. This brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most dangerous time in any home, the 2 a.m. trip to the bathroom. As we age, our sleep patterns change, and waking up frequently during the night is super common. We have to design for this exact scenario. A standard bedroom at night is basically a hazard zone. You've got loose rugs, pitch black hallways, and the anxiety of fumbling around for a light switch, all of which create massive fall risks. But an elderly optimized bedroom? It completely removes the guesswork from the dark by relying on fixed, non-slip surfaces and smart lighting lens. Think of a safe nighttime routine as a perfectly choreographed dance that removes all the friction of moving through the dark. Picture it. The senior wakes up, they swing their legs over, easily planting their feet on the ground thanks to that 45-centimeter bed height. If they feel wobbly, the emergency button is inches away. But if they're good to walk, the absolute second their feet hit the floor, sensor-activated floor-level lighting gently turns on, illuminating the exact path to the bathroom. No reaching for switches in the dark. And the low-level light won't blind their sensitive, sleep-adjusted eyes. It is seamless. But lighting is really only half the battle. We also have to design for cognitive shifts. As some folks experience age-related cognitive decline or forgetfulness, simply catching their own unexpected reflection in a large mirror in a dark room can trigger what's known as nighttime paranoia, which causes terrifying confusion. Because of this very real psychological response, a truly optimized bedroom removes large full-length mirrors entirely, or at the very least, makes sure they are hidden away inside closet doors. Okay, so they're out of bed and into the hallway. This path has to be a completely secure channel. We're talking strict rules here to transform a hazardous corridor into a guided, safe pathway. Every single rug must be removed or locked down with non-slip materials. Continuous handrails should be installed right at an 80-centimeter height along the walls. And this is crucial. Once they actually reach the bathroom, there shouldn't be just one emergency bell. The guidelines insist on two. One mounted at 110 centimeters for when they're standing or sitting on the toilet, and a second one mounted just 10 centimeters off the floor. That way, if they do unfortunately fall and can't get back up, help is still within reach. Which brings us to our final takeaway in Section 4, Design for Life Satisfaction. At the end of the day, we aren't just talking about dry building codes, dimensions, and hardware. We are talking about using architecture and interior design as a profound tool for empathy. When we implement these evidence-based changes, from dialing in the exact height of the bed to using high-contrast baseboards, we are actively empowering older adults to age in place safely. And remember that research we talked about earlier? Maintaining physical independence directly correlates with maintaining social connections. When someone feels safe and fully capable in their own home, it directly boosts their overall life satisfaction and acts as a massive shield against depression and loneliness. I really hope this explainer leaves you inspired to look at your own living spaces through a totally new lens. Aging is a privilege, right? And our homes should absolutely reflect that. So I'll leave you with this thought. Look around your own bedroom tonight, or maybe the home of an aging parent. How many of these friction points could you eliminate right now? Recognizing that just a few simple adjustments, tossing out a loose rug, swapping a light bulb, raising a bed, can profoundly elevate the quality, dignity, and joy of our later years. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive. See you next time.